Hello and welcome to this new video, which is going to be a little bit different than the one that I usually do, and in particular it's going to be a little bit offset respect to the subjects that I usually discuss and show and treat in my channel. Today I'm going to talk about my experience with the Bambulab X1 carbon 3D printer, which I have bought around 3 weeks ago. So is really an initial, let's say, report of my experience. One of the most important reasons why I decided to buy this printer was that I heard really very good and positive reviews substantially everywhere. Where on my side I didn't have a super positive experience in these 3 initial weeks. It might be that it's just the start, it might be that I was unlucky, I don't know. But there is some consideration that I think is good to do around this printer in order to have a 360-degree view and clear, or as much as possible, clear information about this printer. You got it already. Probably this video is not going to be a rant, but at the same time it's not even going to be very aligned with the average that we found today on the net in terms of review of this printer. So first of all, I'm not new to the 3D printing world. I've bought my first Prusa some year ago, and then I went through different experience with Chinese Ender printer, with Anycubic resin printer. I also had a quite shocking experience with Prusa MMU2 unit. So I know a bit about this argument. So checking on the net all the very good, let's say the massive, I would say, information that we can find today on the market, and in particular having found 2 elements very interesting about this printer, which was speed and multi-material printing option, I decided to buy it and to try it. Since from the very first moment when I plugged in the printer, I got that these guys, Bambulab guys, got a very important bit that I think that nowadays is super crucial in the world of 3D printing, say consumer and desktop 3D printing, which is plug and play. I think that it's not true anymore that there's an army of DIYers that are super willing to buy kits and assemble and then tweak and then tune and then print and change. I think that today, luckily, the market has opened a lot, and there's a lot of people that is really looking for having a plug and play 3D printer. So something that you put on your desk, you attach to the power, and you click a button and you start printing. And in fact, this was my experience. I managed to have the unbox and the first print done in a matter of really, I don't know, minutes. Okay. The second element that I really experienced as super pleasant and in line with the reports that you can find on the market today is speed. This printer is really very, very fast. Okay, and it's much faster than the other printer that I have used in the past. I know that there are many other today that are, say, coupling and even overcoming in speed the Bambulab, but Bambulab is really a very good choice for this. And also in this respect, as usual, I mean, first thing I printed was the classic Benchy in order to really have an idea. The Benchy came out in 40 minutes in, say, classical speed, normal speed, let's say, until 15 minutes in ludicrous speed. So I mean, it was really a jump. Okay, that was evident. And the quality was there. Finally, multi-material and multicolor AMS unit. Also in this respect, I bought some spool of filament from Bambulab when I bought the 3D printer. I put it in and wow, it was working. Nothing to do with the shocking, crazy thing of the MMU2. I mean, it was simply working. No doubt, no issues. Really, no issues. So I mean, the first week went very well, and I was really saying myself, it's true. This printer is different. But then I start thinking about why it's so different, what it make it different, and what are the limits, because surely there are limits. And the first thing that you notice when you buy a Bambulab X1, and I think it's the same for the P1P, is that of course everything is proprietary. There are new new materials used, the carbon rods. There is intelligence, artificial intelligence. There is say the enclosure and the frame, which is super tough and super rigid, and this also of course help. And there are 2 or 3 ideas around the AMS which are, say, correct if you had experience with other units, like for instance the MMU2. You really understand where the other units were failing and why the other unit was failing, and why the Bambulab one is really working. And then there is Bambu Studio, the application for mobile, for desktop. Say this is inherent, as you may know, from the Prusa slicer, but apparently Bambulab is trying to keep it not very open, and they are not restituting, they are not returning so much around this. But apart from all of this, the general thing the general conclusion that you come is that this system is really closed, and that probably this is its own strength. Okay, it is so well optimized around the printer itself, around all the material, the new feature that the printer offer, calibration with vibration, the LiDAR, and around the filaments that it uses, that can do all of these things with quality, because it's a very qualitative printer, with speed and in multi-material. So I said to myself, okay, well, what happens if I buy a spool of filament that is not from Bambulab? I was in need of PLA white, and this was not available. By the way, many things are not available into the store in these days of Bambulab. Many material, many colors. You know that Bambulab comes with this, I think, good idea of the refills, but you cannot buy the spool, the Bambulab spools that you can use with the refill, so you have to print it yourself. It's not a big deal, you can print it, you have the printer, you can do it, but still this is not available. I think it will not be available until mid-May, if I have well understood. And many filaments are missing. So I was in need of PLA white, and I decided to buy one from Amazon, which I had heard good things, which I read a good review, which is Sanlu or Sulu, I don't know how to pronounce it, white PLA Plus, which is still PLA with a little bit different elements in terms of temperature and toughness, I guess, which is this guy here. One important thing that you have to check when you buy something that is not from Bambulab is the size of the spool, in terms of the height of the spool, so you have to be maximum 20 centimeter, and also in terms of the thickness, okay, because this is quite thin. The Bambulab spool is a little bit wider, but that's it. You cannot buy the big ones, especially the 3 kilos ones, because they don't fit into the AMS. You can do it using the spool holder with single filament, but you cannot do it with the AMS. I've started the first print with the Sunlu filament, and I immediately noticed that there was a big problem. The AMS was capable to push in the filament. The filament was arriving into the head, to the printing head, into the nozzle. The printer was capable to extrude. By the way, I printed a benchy, and the quality was definitely good. I put it, say, normal speed. I didn't try the very fast one, but the speed was fast anyway, and the quality was good. Nevertheless, when the print finished, the system was incapable to pull back, to retract the filament. It was stuck inside the path from the printer to the AMS. The printer returns an error. It says that probably it clogged somewhere, it's blocked somewhere. So you open the head, you check. To me, everything was looking fine. I went to the back of the printer. There is a joint of PTFE tube between the AMS and the printer. For no reason, I tried to open this joint, and so to extract the PTFE tube with the filament still inside, and that was I relaunched the pullback activity of the AMS, and the filament was correctly extracted. The filament is now loaded correctly into the printer. So now I'm going to unload. And there you go. Now it's stuck. Completely stuck. You see? Just the error saying that the filament cannot be unloaded. So now it is sufficient to go there. To do this, and we try. And it unloads correctly. There you go. I made 2 or 3 tests. I tried to change the slot. I tried to reuse a Bambulab filament into this slot, the one used with the Sunlu, and nothing changed. The Bambulab filament was correctly pushed in and pushed out, and pulled out, sorry. The Sunlu filament was impossible to retract in any of the slots. At this point, I contacted the service of Bambu. I opened a ticket. I wait, I think 2 or 3 days, or maybe even less, and they replied to me, giving me some parts to print, saying that probably the problem was that the PTFE tube was kind of too much bent in some place, and for some reason this was causing some issues and trouble to the Sunlu's filament. So I print a strengthener, actually 2 strengtheners that they suggested to print. I've made some tests, but nothing. There was no way of having the Sunlu filament printed correctly. At this point, I made another test. I let the machine blocking when it was blocked. And then I opened the AMS and I tried manually to pull it, okay, and it was really completely stuck. Okay, even trying to pull with my arm, and putting some strands in it, it was really completely stuck. Unless, of course, you don't open the joint that there is on the back and you free the filament in this way. Finally, the PLA white came back available on the site of Bambu, and so I have ordered it. I'm waiting for it, but I'm very positive on the fact that when it will arrive, I will put it in and it will surely work. Net of the net, what is my conclusion? It is indeed a printer which is different from the average that you can find on the market until now, at least, and then other things are coming out on the wave of this new technologies applied to the FDM printing, and so probably it will be soon overcome. Probably the price will go down. It's not very expensive for what it brings, I have to say, but probably the Chinese now will find a way to make available things which will be comparable and at a lower price. In my opinion, it's a very good printer, and it's a good piece of machine to buy. And however, what I think we need to keep in mind is that its point of strength is also its point of weakness. Meaning that the fact of having an environment, of having an ecosystem so closed, and thanks to this, the fact to reach a very high level of precision and optimization in terms of the configuration of the system, died very quickly and very easy the very next second that you quit from this ecosystem. Okay, and this is, I think, what happened to me with the Sunlu filament. So it's a good machine, it's a different machine. The price is still quite good in my opinion. However, you have to keep in mind that most likely, probably will not be true 100%, but most likely to really be, let's say, safe in your prints at the speed that you want, you have to stay inside the ecosystem of Bambu. If you quit, it's gonna be a little bit more complicated. I hope it helps some people to make their choice if they are thinking to buy this printer. I didn't say it at the beginning, but I think it's clear I'm not sponsored by anyone. This is really my honest experience and opinion. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next video. I'm working in the new video about the DIY remote controller, and I think I should be able to receive what I need to start the video in, I don't know, a couple of weeks, so time frame will be around this one. Thank you very much, and cheers.